And you get to, from the safety of your own space or whatever, ask a question, as opposed to not only having to go to that event, but also saying like, right now I'm going to muster the courage. How many beers have you had? 11. Right. Okay. No, Mr. Smith. No, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be me. But, you know, you can be on this like audio event and just, you know, send a question out, put your hand up to talk, be included in. It's a nice, safe space.
He once bought us standing tickets for a 3-hour live podcast. It was awesome.
So exactly this problem, right? So Kevin Smith, huge podcaster, and I love him to pieces. And he does like a lot of shows, especially at the time. And they did a tour where they then done all around America. I've done these live podcasts, and I'm listening to them then, and all of a sudden there's an audience, and they came to the UK. Sweet. Well, they did more than one podcast, and I didn't look. And all right, I picked the standing seat, so we literally just stood up listening to a podcast.
You assume when a show's over a certain length that you don't sell standing tickets, but we were wrong.
Very wrong. There was no mosh pit. You know what I mean? Like, we were just stood.
It was more like not that sort of like, oh, there's a little space at the back. Standing rather than like standing, right? It was like they sold every possible space they could.
Yeah, every inch.
Every inch, yeah.
We managed to find somewhere we can lean forward at one point. It was like, oh yeah, and you can watch it. It was incredible. But they did in that show. They released a movie, Jay and Silent Bob's super groovy cartoon movie.
Yeah,
They did a taping of Jay and Silent Bob Get Old at the end.
Yeah,
and beforehand, Hollywood Babylon, exactly. And we watched Hollywood Babylon, which wasn't my favorite show.
Never seen it before.
Or since.
It's okay. It's okay.
But that was like a show that I kind of listened to. Like I listened to Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, so I ended up standing for 3.5 hours to listen to it. At which point, like I wasn't in the best space to listen to a podcast, right? Just to get that experience of being there. And I still obviously then didn't go and ask a question and be involved in it. So I think LinkedIn audio spaces will be a nice place for podcasters to do it. And like you say, have that kind of being able to dip your toe in before it goes from like a very low cost way of creating content and speaking to your audience to then like booking a room and having people come and drinks.
And also on the other end of it, people who are maybe have an audience already aren't yet podcasters. It's an easy inward that it's easy. You go onto your social platform, you go onto whatever the platform is you're using, and you just go and you're just talking to your crowd all of a sudden. Maybe it's the road into learning how to podcast.
It's true.
Potentially as well. I think.
Why is it that audio just does so well with people?
I don't know.
Like, you know, you think it was like radio was the best thing at a time. Like it was like the internet, right? When radio came out and it was like great, but we didn't have a technology to send anything else.
You can listen to it and do something else.
You reckon? That's always your speed.
Yeah, it is.
You reckon?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so. Like driving, you know, not do something else, but you can't really watch a video when you're driving. You can do, but you shouldn't do.
No, you can't. You know? But JD Show does not endorse watching YouTube.
That's very naughty.
This guy. But yeah, I suppose it is, isn't it? Like you can garden and you can take care of people. You can have half a conversation with but I suppose sitting down and watching something is a lot more of a.
Yeah, I guess so. But then, yeah, I don't know. The more the platforms it's also about integration with the phones as well. And they're getting silly and technical now, but like until it works, when you can lock your phone and have it just playing in the background.
Sure.
Then it's not particularly a good audio feature. Think about YouTube's a good example.
Right.
You don't get that unless you pay for YouTube Premium. If you lock your phone, YouTube stops playing unless you pay for YouTube Premium.
It's interesting because I don't pay for YouTube Premium and I don't see it as like that kind of platform. Like I
didn't even know that was a feature until I paid for it, and I was like, oh, of course, they just want me to pay for that.
Because I have to sit down and watch YouTube.
Yeah,
like that's for me. It's a lot more of a like I have it on my TV and I'll sit and put it on and like be like, wow, I'm going to watch YouTube because there's nothing else on. I don't always use that accent, but sometimes just to keep it fresh in the Ludgrove household.
Yeah, and that's why I think I find I listen to a lot of things on YouTube now that are like audio centric.
Right,
there's a video, but the video is very like 10% of the thing. It's mostly just listening to a podcast, essentially.
Yeah.
But that's probably why, because I can listen to it in the car.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I don't want to get halfway through a show that's only on YouTube and then try and find it on a podcast. Yes, I have ads.
I can't even imagine what that must be like.
Sorry, Tony. So audio leads us into the wonderfulness of TV is where we were going to get to at the end. But no tech. So we're in tech. So I just got
cars. Talking of cool things that work with cars,
and how you can potentially get in trouble for watching stuff in your car. I got a new car. Yay!
Time too. It's been a while. I've been waiting for it for a while,
and I've been moaning.
Well done, Volvo. You've done a great job. Please don't take it back.
No, it took so long to get your hands on it. But so it's fully electric, and I've jumped down that route to see what it's like. That's not necessarily like, and that's cool. And I'm enjoying the working out, not petrol thing. But pilot assist, right? So it's not AI. It's not driving itself. I can't say "Take me home, Mister," and fall asleep or knit while I go home. But what it is doing is it's like cruise control,
but with a bit more,
right? With steroids on number 11.
Question there: does it? If you put a route in, does it follow the route? Will it take you left? No, it's just keeping you on the road.
Yes.
Right, and you're still responsible for going the right way.
I am.
Gotcha. Cool. So it's not, like I say, it's the halfway house. It's keeping an eye on you.
And I guess that's why it's pilot assist, right? I am still the pilot.
For now.
But it's kind of driving. But it's such a weird thing. So literally you're kind of holding it in one hand and it's moving around. It's doing adjustments over potholes and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Me and Tony was sitting in it, driving it today, and it's like,
that's the thing. Do you trust it? And not in a trust way, not in a nefarious sort of plan, they're going to kill me with it, but in a like judgment way. It's about judgment, isn't it? Because there are those situations on the road where you're like, I don't know, I did what instinct took over. What are its instincts like, I wonder?
Well, and also it's set by parameters, right? So it's set to drive in the middle of the lane where it thinks the middle of the lane is. Well, sometimes you want to drive in a little bit closer to this side in the middle of the lane than you do if someone's about to open the door. Now, it's probably a better driver than me is the thing I always come back to, right?
There is that.
I don't try and add up better than a calculator because it's better than me. It's literally a car, so surely it can do it better than me. But I don't know whether... For anyone who's we're going to see it over the next 5 years, right? 10 years, we're going to start to see more like driverless cars. What do you call it?
Yes, not driverless.
Not driverless.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Driverless, but that is a thing as well. The cargo, they're looking at making all the cargo vehicles driverless.
Like kit.
Sort of. Or there'll be one guy driving like 15 of them chained together, but because the assist will help that happen. I don't know how they drive through the small roads. It gets very complicated at that point, right? But I don't know. It's going to be a while before you're allowed to go to sleep in the car and take your hand off the wheel.
I think so, and from my experience so far, good because it's not there. It's cool. It's freaky though. It's freaky. It's not a terrible driver. It drives a little closer left for me, but it's good. It drives well. It's good.
Because it's not riding the center line. It's riding what it thinks is the middle of the lane, right? Which is we tend to ride the center line.
Yeah,
that's all. Like
which I didn't know, right? So I didn't know that as we drive on the left-hand side of the road, we drive to the middle. And when Tony and I went to Florida to do a conference, we hired a great big truck, the biggest truck we could find, the Traverse.
It was the Chevrolet.
The Chevrolet Traverse.
Nice, I really like that.
Yeah, I'm sure any American watches right now.
Down the side of the office.
No, it's huge. It's like Canyon Aero. It was like 3 lanes wide. But we were both, anyone who was in the passenger seat was so freaked out because naturally you just leant towards the same right-hand side of the lane, but that was no longer where you should be. You should be sat on the left-hand side.
The middle of the
road. Oh no, we're going too fast. So I don't know whether it's maybe just set in the middle because it should be in the middle, but it's weird. That and one pedal driving, which is something Tesla. So Tesla have it really, really down. With like essentially when you take your foot off the accelerator, immediately regen braking is happening and the car is slowing down.
Feels weird. I know you're not meant to coast, but everyone always does because it just feels it feels inefficient, right? It feels like you shouldn't be pressing the pedal down all the time.
No,
but you sort of have to not stop in this case,
because otherwise it comes to a stop in like.
But we're not talking revs anymore either. We're talking just energy in, energy out, right? So it's a completely different.
And strangely enough, we're not using one pedal driving. Like coasting, electric cars are all about coasting.
Yeah.
Like you go and then you just kind of like sail around everywhere.
But is the braking to restore the battery and stuff?
It is.
That's how that works, right?
Yeah. So, but it's so intense. Like I was finding it hard to slow down to just like a stop at
a nice stop.
Exactly. A little T junction, just a stop. It's like, oh, okay, I'll stop now. And sure, it's regenerating the battery, but like I know it's a very, very different drive. Really is a very, very different drive. And I get it's probably going to be the way, but I'd be surprised if all cars
adjust the brain fully to commit to it if you're going to do it,
I
right?
just don't know how all cars going to have to go there, because it's part of the it's necessity to keep us all regened enough to be driving the thing and stuff. Who knows? It's going to be a really exciting.
Energy prices will go to a certain point, and then people will be like, I have to do it now because every mile costs me £20. I know.
It's free. It's like my free phone. This is free.
Oh, it's free now. This is electric car. That means it's free. It doesn't have to.